Okay, this is Matthew Bauer of the Acupuncture Now Foundation, and I have with me Catherine Berry, the ANF's Executive Vice President. Thank you for making the time to be with me today, Kath.
It's always a pleasure, Matt. Thank you.
And Kath's role in the ANF is about to change, and that's why I wanted to connect with Kath and go over a little bit about what her next plans are. But first, I just wanted to say how absolutely instrumental Kath was to helping to form the ANF. She was the first person I contacted when I decided to try to launch this organization, and it was her connections with acupuncturists all over the world that really helped to launch the ANF as an international organization. So I first want to just say thank you so much, Kath. You were absolutely instrumental in making this happen.
It's been an absolute joy, and I'm with deep pride, and yes, I'm so excited for the ANF as well.
And then, well, you have a little announcement, or not so little, but you have an announcement about your place with the ANF. So please go ahead and let listeners know what your next steps are.
Well, those people that I've been in direct contact with know that I've had a pretty tough year in terms of having a major health issue. I was diagnosed with an abdominal tumour, and there was a period of a couple of months of not knowing the status of that. And so, having received the results of the biopsy were negative, it made me realise there's been a major shift in my thinking and what I've been doing, and certainly my relationship to my health and the profession of acupuncture itself as well. So, it's been a really, I actually can't describe it anything other than it's been absolutely enlightening. It hasn't been a bad year. It's actually probably been the most profound and the most moving, while challenging. And I feel really privileged to have had such an extreme event. And I also feel very lucky that I've come out with a negative diagnosis, so that I can actually take a lot of that learning and growing and evolving, and perhaps see that in the next part of my professional development.
And of course, your health scare, or the
Yeah,
health information, that enlightening episode happened very close on the heels of a major change in your life, the
exactly. Yeah,
location.
yeah. It's as life often happens, and so much of what I'm looking at now is my understanding of the Tao, and that's where I'm coming to at the moment. Just going to have this major health event. I changed countries. My sister had an incredibly stressful health event while pregnant. So our family and all this stuff was all happening around the same time, and I actually think it's almost like the universe pushing me. I was just on the wrong path, and I've now found a new one. So, part of that is in looking at the Acupuncture Now Foundation and seeing where it's going, and just thinking it's the most amazing organisation. And of course, I know that the most amazing people to lead that. And of course, Mel Hopper-Koppelman is the most perfect candidate to take over my role as Vice President. Now that my focus is I'm really looking at the health of the acupuncturist. That's going to be my focus for my near future.
And I'm so, first of all, we're sorry to lose you as executive vice president. You are going to stay as an advisor to us, and I'm sure an extremely important one. But I was so thrilled to read your email talking about how you've come to this point in your life that you really want to devote so much work into healing the profession. So could you talk a little bit more about that, about
Yeah.
what you've seen and all the Kath, for those that don't know, it has talked to more people, at least English speaking people, in the acupuncture community around the world than really anybody, I'm sure, in the world. She has an amazing perspective about what's happening with acupuncture all over the world, especially the Western world. So could you tell us a little bit more about what your concerns are, and why you want to focus this part of your life on the health of the acupuncture profession?
Sure, and I should. That's such a kind introduction, and I should say I feel like I've cheated because I came straight out of high school straight into a 4-year acupuncture degree. So at 18 I became an acupuncturist. At 18 I started studying Chinese medicine. So what that meant was I was a qualified acupuncturist in my early 20s at the time when I was travelling and I was able to see the world, and that's how, through quite literally just travelling the world, I was able to meet the most inspiring leaders and go to conferences and really understand a much more global perspective. I've also studied in Australia, lived in the United Kingdom for 6 years, spent a year through South and Central America in the United States, and now, of course, I'm living in Spain. So I feel it's by virtue of other life choices that I have a really great understanding of acupuncture around the world. And, again, I started studying in 1995. Acupuncture was virtually unheard of at the time. And there was this amazing sense of wonderment, and everybody I spoke to was so interested. And it's been really interesting in the last 20 years that acupuncture has become so popular. It's now being practiced by other health professionals, and it's becoming a really common term, and people understand what it's all about, which is terrific, because 20 years ago that was what we were aiming to achieve. And now that it's happening, we're sort of seeing it backfire a little bit. And what I'm getting now absolutely universally is massive amounts of frustration, there's anger, there's fear. My view is if acupuncture was a patient of ours, it'd be diagnosed with massive shin disturbance, massive patterns of disharmony systemically, and erratic wei qi. That's who we are as a profession. So I feel genuinely that we are not in line with the Tao, that things have really gone awry. And what I want to focus on now is how can we as acupuncturists actually heal the profession, because our profession right now is not fitting well. And I've been sort of looking at some of those challenges. And I just mentioned one of them, and it's probably my biggest focus for the immediate future. And that is this idea that other health professionals are doing acupuncture. And there's this perceived threat. This is this wei qi of like, oh, we're under threat, we're having this massive invasion, and there's probably a bit of pericardium because, of course, it's wounding us, and so we're getting really distressed about this perceived war that's going on. And we're also becoming really territorial. We're trying to stake a claim in something which, I just think we've got the framework all wrong. So I put this to anybody watching today to think about it like this. Acupuncture has evolved from traditional Chinese medicine. There have always been barefoot doctors, people with partial training that can go out into the field and go out into other areas and get reasonably good results. But they've always been the masters of acupuncture, and that's us. We're the masters. So what we need to start doing is seeing physiotherapists, seeing chiropractors, seeing MDs as our barefoot doctors. They're out there doing the groundwork. They're out there spreading the knowledge about acupuncture. And if they're not getting good results, it means that they either need to send to us as a master, so we need to form that relationship so that they know why to send people to us. Or secondly, the reason why they might not be getting good results is that they might just not have enough information. And that's again where we can be part of the teaching system. And if you look at where the Barefoot Doctors program ended up, it actually became the medical system in China. So, I say this because I think we've got it all wrong if we think we're at war with people doing what we're doing. What gives us the right to think that we own this amazing system? What gives us the right to want to hold and control it and actually potentially limit patients from having acupuncture? It's the opposite. We should be the ones that's out there saying, go and do acupuncture, go and have acupuncture, and if it's not working, come and see us because we are the acupuncturists. We're the ones that are trained to the master level. But acupuncture should be everywhere. It should be in every hospital, and it should be done in every community service. And that's sort of my vision, is to change how acupuncturists see this perceived threat, to really start to look at the wei qi of the acupuncture profession.
Well, Kath, that was so beautifully said, and it's really funny to me because even though you and I haven't spoken in detail about exactly this dynamic, it is exactly what I have been drafting in my head the past few months.
Well,
because
I have to apologise, and I should have said this, and I'm really sorry to make it sound like it's my idea. It was actually a conversation I had with Giovanni just recently, that I was talking on the phone with him, and I said, oh, Giovanni, what are we going to do? The profession's in a mess, and help us. And he just went, what's the problem? And I went, well, physiotherapists are doing acupuncture. And he went, of course they are. And he was the one that said it's barefoot doctors. He just went, I don't have a problem with people doing acupuncture. From Giovanni's point of view, we should be celebrating this. This is the success that we wanted. So it's sort of, we just need to really just have a shift in our whole perspective. And there's this wonderful expression I learned, and it's, when you're seeing yourself in competition with people, you see yourself as a racehorse, and that they're a racehorse, and it's a race to the finishing line. We need to own the track. We're not even a horse in this game. We are the owners of the whole game. So that's sort of my feeling about that's the first thing I'm going to tackle.
and this is a wonderful segue I mean, we want to talk about your work with acupuncture professionals because that is a wonderful um, vehicle, a wonderful avenue, a way for you to connect with the profession, to gather others that want to
Exactly,
work on
exactly.
this.
And I should
And
say that, sorry, I mean to cut you off. I'm just so excited that Acupuncture Professional, and I should clarify to anybody watching, historically we've always been a CPD provider. We've always provided online accredited education for practitioners around the world in video modules. So we've got great contacts with amazing educators, we've got great networks in different countries. But I've just had this total perspective shift and thinking, education shouldn't be about learning how to insert needles into points you already know, or education is actually about looking at really changing how you do things. And we've got, for example, Angela Hicks has just been talking, one of her webinars recently we released is about looking at the Shen. And we did that. We released this free webinar looking at how to get better results by treating the Shen, simply because we want acupuncturists to get the results so that patients keep coming back to them and so that they can actually prosper in their clinic. And one of the criticisms in the past is about acupuncture professionals, people saying, well, I'd love to be involved, but I can't afford it. If we can achieve the goals that we've set out to do for the next 5 years, then every acupuncturist will be able to afford it because the whole acupuncture community will be prosperous. So I say to anybody that can't afford to be part of Acupuncture Professional now, you will be when we're done doing what we're doing.
that's absolutely right. I mean, I always stress with people that as far as educating the public, or if you want to call it marketing, whatever you want to call it, is that acupuncture is a system for facilitating and enhancing the way the body manages its own health problems. So when you talk about us being the masters, what that means is we are the masters of squeezing more good out of what the
Exactly.
body mind system
Yeah,
can do
that's
for
right.
itself. And if we establish ourselves as that, it puts us in a fantastic position, because who wouldn't want to take advantage of
Of the
having
master.
their
That's right.
health enhanced to its highest level? I
That's
mean,
right.
that's what we need to focus in.
And the other thing
And
as well is, the idea of, physiotherapists or other practitioners doing acupuncture to a rudimentary level is, why don't we train them? Why don't we say, if once you can either become a barefoot doctor or a master, and it's that idea of, why see it as competition when we can be the ones that gets that result and be part of the teaching system, not just the practicing system, but also the teaching system as well. So you're absolutely right about, because the other thing as well, of course, is we want to make sure, a lot of the stuff I've been involved in for years has always been around promoting your acupuncture business and getting a message out there. And I've just realised, it's not about numbers. It's not about casting the net and dragging people in. It's about getting really, really good results with the people you've got. They then go out and through word of mouth, they talk about you and your amazing abilities. So, the real focus for acupuncturists really shouldn't be about marketing. It should be about getting really, really good results that last, that are really effective, and that happen really quickly. And of course, you want them to happen quickly because you want lots of people to get results and start raving about you and your practice.
well, and with the Acupuncture Now Foundation, part of our vision is to be a big tent sort of organization that connects with and has positive relationships with everybody doing acupuncture. But at the same time, as you can see with people like Kath, who has been an instrumental part of this organization, that we share this vision that the ANF wants to connect with acupuncture, the acupuncturists with a capital A, the acupuncture specialists, the masters. We want to connect with organizations made up of those better trained professionals to work on exactly what Kath is wanting to work on with acupuncture professionals. How can we heal the profession? How can we improve the relationship with those out there doing acupuncture, especially in building referral networks? Just as you said, if they learn it to a more basic level, if we want them to understand that however excited they are about the results they're seeing, when you are a specialist, you can get that much better results with the patients that maybe they have difficulty with. You want to establish these good referral systems, and that will be a tremendous benefit to everybody's
And
practice.
this is what I see, in looking at Acupuncture Now Foundation and and Acupuncture Professional, and certainly my involvement with both of them, is that I see so much that Acupuncture Now Foundation is looking at the general public and communicating and really being an ambassador for the profession. Whereas what I'm wanting to focus on is acupuncturists as people. And, again, one of the things that I have in the past focused on is helping people with their acupuncture practice. Now I want to help acupuncturists evolve as people. And I've got 5 key points that I'd like to leave you with as part of my kind of manifesto that I've been working on. And the first one I've obviously talked about is the barefoot doctors. That let's change the language around that. Let's absolutely incorporate anybody doing acupuncture. Let's rebrand them as barefoot doctors. They become the people that we are masters to. Not necessarily in a superior way. I don't mean to inflame us, but I do think that the whole acupuncture profession has an inferiority complex. And I think by changing this, it helps to shift some of that psychological balance. So the barefoot doctors is the first part of my acupuncture professional manifesto. The second one is I really want to make it clear about redefining that we are not in acupuncture practice, and acupuncture isn't our business. So much of the marketing that I've ever looked at is being about promoting a business, promoting a practice, getting numbers up. It's our livelihood. It's who we are as people. So I want to heal us as individuals, I want to heal us as our profession, and I am absolutely 100% confident that the business aspect of the actual financial aspect of what we do will prosper as a result. So I'm going to change my dialogue. I'm not going to be talking about acupuncture business anymore, it's your acupuncture livelihood. The third part is looking at the language that we're using. And one of them, and I got this from Dr. Daniel Keown, who I admire immensely, and he talks about never using the word meridians. The reason why is meridians are imaginary lines that are used to describe the long latitude lines of the globe. Because they're imaginary, the moment that we're using this in our language, we're using imaginary concepts. And these are acupuncture channels. Something flows through them. That's why we always use the word channels. What flows through them is qi. And again, this is another one from Dr. Daniel Keown. This is actually what's going to separate us from anybody doing acupuncture, is that we do qi medicine. And this is going to be the future of medicine, is understanding energy medicine and understanding how that works. What we're in danger of at the moment is actually losing qi out of acupuncture, and that's why I want barefoot doctors to be doing acupuncture, but we're doing qi acupuncture. We are energy medicine healers. And my final part of the manifesto, and it's back again to a language issue or a way we're perceived, is please never use acupuncture needles in any of your marketing. And I say this because acupuncture needles is the one thing that's the barrier to people wanting to have acupuncture. So we really shouldn't be putting it as the first and foremost thing that we do, all over websites, all over flyers or posters or clinic walls, that's the tool we're using. We really should be paying more attention to the actual processes that we're doing and saying to people that we can heal a whole number of things. And of course, I know, Matt, that's your real forte, is being able to just describe to people so that acupuncture is a system that allows the body to heal itself through very, very sophisticated but easy to manipulate methods. So, I ask anybody to join me in this process, but these are my 5 key points of my manifesto. Again, it's barefoot doctors, livelihood, meridians, not using meridians, not using needles, and that we're qi medicine healers.
Well, that's a beautiful plan, Kath. I'm excited for your enthusiasm, and really looking forward to working with the ANF, working with acupuncture professionals, and anybody that wants to get on board this wonderful direction. We're just so happy. I mean, you were so instrumental in ANF. We know that we're going to still be in touch. I treat a lot of older people, and they tell me that when they retire, they actually get busier than they ever imagined. So you're going to be very busy. You're still going to be advising and working with the Acupuncture Now Foundation, but just in a slightly different title capacity. And we so look forward to it. The entire acupuncture community should be so grateful for all the work you've done, and now the new work you're going to be doing.
Thank you, Matt. And I guess, in finishing where we started in saying, in 1995 when I went into acupuncture, what we didn't have was this incredible technology to communicate and to coordinate and to connect. And I think that's what I really want to take and embrace. for our profession is actually bringing people together through this incredible means that we have available to us. So we're so lucky. For all these things that we see as challenges, we have the most fantastic opportunity ahead of us. And I look forward to working with the ANF and any acupuncturist or student or anyone interested in acupuncture that looks to want to get on board and support us in what we're doing.
Well, 2016 is going to be an important year. I really believe
I
that.
feel it.
We're starting to move on this level that it is about healing the profession and really reassessing where we need to go with all of this. And you've got a great vision. We so look forward to working with you even in this new capacity. Yeah.
Indeed. Thank you, Matt, and all the best for the Acupuncture Now Foundation in the meantime.
Well, thank you very much for making the time. And everybody out there, please contact through Acupuncture Professional or through Acupuncture Now Foundation for any more information about the new and exciting direction here. Thank you.